Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Player 1011 here, and today we'll be talking about Brexit.
I'm so excited.
So, I understand that Brexit might be old news to a lot of people by now.
No shit.
But new news came out recently, and specifically in the form of Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson resigning. To put it in the best way possible, we'll go to the Prime Minister of Belgium, Mr. Verhoeven. I can't pronounce his name. Look it up yourselves. The Brexiters do not have a clue what needs to be done. Cameron, Johnson, and Farage behave like rats fleeing a sinking ship. And in a lot of ways, he's right. But I think it's a little bit worse than that. What they did basically was they burnt down the bridge between the EU and the UK, and then basically they said, alright, Britain, cross that bridge and we'll stay right over here. Can I just turn over for that joke? This is just further proof that the UKIP party leaders who led the charge on the Brexit vote were hiding behind the guise of patriotism when they really did not have Britain's best interests in mind. And to prove this completely, that they realized that either they made a horrible, horrible mistake, or, I don't know, it's crazy. Nigel Farage said, I've done everything I needed to do now that Brexit has passed. Britain is independent. First of all, Britain was already independent. In fact, Independence Day is a day named for other countries who are independent from the UK. America! Fuck yeah! Second of all, no, you are not free from the EU yet. You have not left the EU yet. You just had the referendum vote. You need party leadership to lead Britain in the right direction as they separate from the EU. And that means renegotiating a ton of trade deals, but I assume you don't want to do that because that's a lot of work.
Man, this is some bullshit!
I don't see a large problem with a lot of the people who voted for Brexit, voted to leave. I understand that the EU has become a bureaucratic failure from the progressive thing it was back in the 1950s and 60s. When Margaret Thatcher came into office and everything became like a neoliberal bureaucratic or neoconservative bureaucratic machine. And I understand the frustrations with that. However, we still have to acknowledge that there was a large part of this that was strictly racism and extreme nationalism, because that's what UKIP is, and that is the party I have a problem with. The United Kingdom Independence Party is basically the far-right nationalist party of England. It's basically the Trump of Britain. Don't wanna be an American idiot. Boris Johnson is the Trump of Britain. They even have the same hair. But now let's talk about the actual effects of Brexit. The pound plummeted. Stocks crashed, meaning that your retirement savings, or the retirement savings there, flew away.
What the fuck?
You know, people were like, oh my god, we're independent now, and now we get to save £350 million. First of all, that number was just blatantly false. Second of all, it's been proven through multiple economic studies that Britain makes more than that back, more than what they sent to the EU back through their preferable trade deals. And then, lastly, Nigel Farage went on a show and said this.
The £350 million a week we send to the EU, which we will no longer send to the EU, can you guarantee that's going to go to the NHS?
No, I can't, and I would never have made that claim. That was one of the mistakes I think that the Leave campaign made.
Hang on a moment, that was one of your adverts.
Well, it wasn't one of my adverts, I can assure you.
So basically, a big part of the campaign was that the EU gets £350 million and now Britain will get it back, and it'll go to the NHS. And that was a lie, and this is where my problem begins. You lied to the people of Britain. You then jumped ship after the referendum vote, and you're leaving things in a big mess. You broke it, you burned it, and then you left.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
And then the last part of this is UKIP's racism. And I'm just going to read a few quotes, and you decide for yourselves what you think of these quotes. The first one is from Ken Chapman, a major party leader in UKIP. Islam is a cancer that needs eradicating. Clear them all off to the desert.
That's what I prefer!
By James Elgar. Things Asian boys do. groom and rape underage white girls, stab and rob innocent white people, and bomb innocent white people. If you're talking about ISIS, sure, but ISIS's enemy is everyone. Hint, hint, they bombed a lot of Muslim holy sites. And also things Asian boys do. Like,
You fucking racist.
quote from Andre Lampet, quote, most Nigerians are bad people. Try proving me wrong. And then Boris Johnson, one of the heads of the UKIP party, said this about Obama. By the way, hint, hint, Donald Trump is the Boris Johnson of America. President Obama has an ancestral dislike for Britain as a result of his part Kenyan heritage. One, how does that even make any sense? Two, the Kenyan heritage, literally Donald Trump.
And if I do that, I'll win every game too.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.